Hey guys, this is Candace Marie with Astrology, and I'm bringing you your astrological forecast for the month of February 2017 for Gemini and Gemini rising. And I'm back. I am back, and I'm happy to be here. This is the first of a series of my horoscopes that I'm going to be doing for all 12 of the zodiac signs to give you guys more specific information about the month ahead and the lunar cycles. As always, please do know your rising and your moon sign, as it's going to give you more specific insight this month. If you don't already know that, do check out a birth chart calculator and find out. It's really simple to do. All you need is the time and the date and the location of your birth. What's going on, guys? How are you doing? How have you guys been doing? I know that Saturn has been really hitting some oppositions for some of those in terms of your guys' career, and we're seeing lots of things that have been going on, but this is year 3 with that Saturn opposition, and I'm hoping that you guys are hanging in there and things are getting better. I'm going to be giving you some specific dates this month, so I do recommend, if you've got a pen and paper, you want to jot these down. I'm also going to be pulling some cards throughout a little bit of this reading to give you an idea of just what I'm seeing and enhance some of this stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and start with the major points for you. Venus is entering into Aries, and it's going into your 11th house of friends and socializing, and it's leaving Pisces and crossing into what I call the party zone. Now, it's not always entirely too comfortable there. I mean, I think that the goddess can have some issues being in Venus because it can kind of be intense, and especially in the 11th, it's like you're going to be meeting so many people and seeing so many people. I think it'll be exciting, but nevertheless, that energy does have to be managed. February 3rd, that's when Venus enters, making her way alongside Mars. Now, this is important that you know this because next month, Venus goes retrograde in this house. Following suit shortly after, we'll have Mercury go retrograde in Aries as well, so you'll be seeing both of these planets in this arena until about May, June of this year. Venus retrograde makes you more conscious of what you're capable of how you feel, of what you need, and more so importantly, like I said, it's a little bit more intense than usual. It was in Dreamy Pisces, and now it's moving into another space, so things are going to kind of pick up speed. For some people, it can make love a little bit more confusing, and I think that that's possible, but I'm really just seeing it being about you having a new attitude in regards to love and regards to meeting new people, especially around February 23rd and the 27th. Now, all sorts of new characters are going to be presenting themselves to you. I think it's going to be really excellent because not all of these people are meant to be, romantic. Actually, you're seeing people showing up who are highly intelligent, unusual, and potentially flirty, but can also be helpful in regards to your career. So just be careful and make sure that you're pacing yourself, because with Mars and Venus in your 11th, you don't go chatting up everybody that you see socially. You might be coming up on somebody's beau. So it's important to really make sure you know that they're single because you guys are charmers. Now, the other thing that I'm seeing is friendships this month could turn into potential flings. And I've noticed this theme for Gemini and Gemini rising in the past couple months with so much of an idea and so much of a focus on what's going on with your relationships and being able to perhaps maybe even be like a little bit more commitment oriented with relationships. But friendships can turn into flings. Don't rush these, though. That's the thing. Think twice before you go crossing that line and stepping into some more emotional waters. You may realize that you may have more feels than usual. And you don't want to kind of stick your foot in your mouth. You don't want to get carried ahead with yourself. You may be spending, a great more deal of time with friends, with other partners, and kind of like, feeling it out, seeing how you feel about connecting with this person. The other thing that I like about these aspects is, you have the opportunity to get away with somebody this month, to go and do new activities, and be able to learn more about these potential friendships and see if there's something more romantically, if there's something hidden underneath the surface. Now, Jupiter will be opposing in the 5th house. That does suggest, once again, the idea of a place to go and socialize and play with a partner, to go and act childlike. You may find yourself also in more creative aspects this month. It spotlights a whole lot more couples than usual for you. So I think that's the thing, is even if you're out with friends, because of that Jupiter opposition in your fifth, you're going to be seeing a whole lot more going on that's making you realize, like, man, everybody's coupled up. Like, what am I doing, or what are we doing? Don't take it personally. Don't beat yourself up. I think that it's really showing you the potential of what you have. And, with two being more than one, and kind of just highlighting that you have the opportunity to get involved in some partnerships, and it could actually be very, very exciting for you. If you're not already partnered, between that and Saturn hanging out in your 7th house the last 2 years, like I said, you may be feeling more of a need to commit now, more than you ever did before. So remember, like I said, with Venus, and then it will be Mars and Uranus that's in Aries, I don't want you to feel pressured. I don't want you to feel like you have to commit to something. I don't want you guys to overly book yourself either, because I could see that there would be so many social engagements going on this month that it could be too much for you to handle. So my advice to you, Gemini, is slow your roll, enjoy the scenery. Remember that it's quality over quantity, especially when it comes to others. You have, the opportunity to really better manage your social schedule, and sometimes that means saying no. I know you guys don't want to disappoint people, but if you've got so much going on, do be sure to communicate. That's what you guys do best, is communicate and just speak up and be like, hey, I've got a lot going on, or no, I really want to see this person. The card that I get for that is the King of Cups. So speak from your heart. Talk about what you feel and what you think, even if it's unusual territory for you. You may find you're having a little bit more feels this month. Now, talk's changing when Mercury leaves Capricorn and heads for Aquarius, which will play very nicely with your Sun. Now, you can expect, once again, to be looking online and doing some more research and some more educational topics or more educational activities. Or you may be completing or committing to a new class or a new online course, or something that has to do with higher education. I see a lot of talk around the idea of travel and doing research into new and exciting places that you could be getting away to. Now, Saturn is in Sagittarius, so you may be having to still kind of be conscious and aware of how you're budgeting and going to these places and all that stuff. But nevertheless, I think that you're going to see some talk this month about deciding where you may be going to and reading up on that place. It's also seeing potential around February 8th for some sticky transits where Pluto affects you in a big way. So we're going to see the build of a grand cardinal cross that includes your 2nd house of resources, and bringing Uranus, Pluto, Jupiter into the mix. That day the moon will be in Cancer, so it'll be a little moody, but this is bringing an opportunity to you for your finances. So even though Cancer can be that, it can also be very sensitive and very intuitive. This is make or break time for you, Gemini, financially. You could just break through big opportunities. If you are on the brink, though, money-wise, I will say this: do plan ahead, have a fallback just in case. But based off of the hints that I'm seeing with some major news with the solar eclipse later this month in your 10th house, I think that on the 8th you're onto something. I think that if you have to give something a go, or you have to give something a shot, definitely take it, because it's those squares are getting you out of your comfort zone and asking you to expand. And so if you've been on the brink with finances, if you've really been having to manage your finances, now you're finding that, man, if I could just get that one gig and I'm set, this could be the day or around the time that you're seeing it. Big news is the Leo full moon will be a lunar eclipse on Friday, February the 10th, 2017. And in my opinion, this may be one of the bigger astrological events next to the eclipse that's happening August of this summer. But this is the first one of the year, and it certainly is dramatic because it's a lunar eclipse and it is in Leo. What am I seeing from this? It lights up your 3rd house of communication. So important matters of the heart should be discussed. And it's just prior to Valentine's Day. So it's important to keep your mind and your heart open to what you hear, what you have to say. You may be considering the opportunity to get away and mull it over with a partner and be thinking about your feelings and feeling it out. But you're also apt to have, to deal with a partner who's more emotional today. So be patient and be thankful that this is happening prior to Valentine's Day and you know where you stand with others. Valentine's Day is good news for the forecast for love on this day for you. It's very favorable for Gemini. By the time the 14th rolls around, the moon that day will be in Libra. So it's going to be, bringing more balance to and peace to your recent talks, lighting up romance and matters of relationships. This is especially positive for existing couples, but if you're single, you shouldn't be for long. If you've had your eye on someone, or if there's someone that you're interested in, I suggest in a very romantic way even, or a very, very subtle way, letting them know how you feel. This is very important because it's opening up, the topic of you being able to get into a relationship with a partner, and it's a really great year for Gemini to be settling down maybe. So February 18th, the sun then moves into Pisces. And Pisces is dreamy and it's spiritual, but it can also be challenging with some of the planets that we have in Aries. So here's the tip. Leave room for important meetings, leave room for time for other events that have to do with work, and do not overload yourself once again. When we get closer to the solar eclipse, there's going to be a lot of focus on you and your career. So I want to make sure that although you're having fun, it's important for you to leave room for the unexpected when it comes to work-oriented projects. As we get closer to the 20th of February, you'll have a little bit more of a brief opportunity to have some downtime. So if you do have to mark off one day on your calendar, give yourself that day. Watch out at the end of the month. We have more eclipses that will be coming, and also some challenging aspects with Mars. So February 22nd, we're going to be seeing some squares with Mars and Pluto, and this only comes around once every 2 years. But when it does, it happens twice. So it'll be rolling back later in the fall. We're going to see that happen again. You don't have to worry about it until November of this year. But it does make for some intense energy emotionally, but also some really bad weather. So depending on where you live, we may see some really intense storms that week. So plan ahead with travel. Now, this energy will roll until about February 26th when we get into the solar eclipse that we're going to be having in Pisces. And this is rather intense. It's at 8 degrees. A major indication of a positive shift or redirection in your life path is how I'm seeing this. Now, we're seeing much potential for recognition, prestige, a raise, or promotion. Everybody's going to see you, Gemini. The eyes are on you in your 10th house. Now, the big thing about this is you cannot hide. So it's important that you have everything in order and everything ready, and you're very presentable and you're ready at the time of this eclipse, because all of the lights are going to be on you. This also means it's going to be a harder time for you to be able to hide things. So if you're, a last-minute Gemini and you're scrambling to get stuff together, then make sure that you're being a little bit more conscious as you get into later this month and you start planning ahead for perhaps a presentation or something that you will be releasing that people are going to be seeing, communications and things that you're saying. Very, very important that you plan ahead this day. And the card that I get for that is the King of Wands. So certainly with your career endeavors and the things that you're working on in that regard. That's very exciting. It's going to be a great month for you guys. I'm excited for you to have some options socially and to get out there and to potentially also meet some really great connections, not just romantically, but in terms of business. As always, it's been fun chatting with you guys, and I look forward to talking to you next month for your next horoscope. If you have any questions or comments, you may be able to leave them below. I appreciate them, and I take a peek at them sometimes. I'm Candace Murray, and I will be talking to you guys next month. Thanks.